Today we're going to deal with the stuck seat post and the stuck bottom bracket in the old Stumpjumper frame, and we're also going to try a couple of techniques to try and make sure we can get rid of some of the surface rust on the frame but keep the original paint job. Let's see how we get on. I've been trying to get this seat post out without destroying the seat post, and I've given up on that option. Stuck some penetrating oil down, and I've been cranking at this to see if it will move. So the seat post itself was clamped in the vise. It's probably a little bit oval now, but we'll see if I can get it out. That was easy. Without that penetrating oil, I've been giving this a real good turn and twist and pull, and absolutely nothing's been happening. I even tried taking the seat off, and the bolt on the top of the seat post is so jammed that even with a lever on the end of an Allen key I couldn't get it. Couldn't get it from shocking it, couldn't get it from just spraying it with this stuff. But it seems like this penetrating oil here has done the job. So it isn't properly bonded to the aluminium, and the steel obviously isn't bonded together. It was just normal stuck. This is a long post. Hey! Very pleased with that. Because of my success with the seat tube, I used exactly the same method on the bottom bracket. I clamped it in the vise and I twisted the frame after spending a couple of days squirting it with the penetrant oil. The bike is stripped, and now I've got to try and get the frame ready for building back up again. Now the frame's got lots of little bits of surface rust on it, so I need to find a way to remove them without damaging the rest of the paint, and then I can lacquer over the top of it and try and get it looking good again. That'll keep the sort of original frame paintwork. Just allow it to keep its battle scars, but without them causing it to rust anymore. So here's the stuff I'm going to try today. I'm going to try some of this rust remover from Quick, some CRC rust converter liquid. I'm going to try a little bit of it with just the sort of CRC 556, which is WD-40 type stuff, just the toolkit in a can, sort of general multi-purpose oil. And I'm going to try some penetrate, which is like a penetrant, which is the same sort of thing I used to get the seat post out, because I figure that might actually soak into the rust really well and be able to make it so we can wipe it off. Once I'm finished, I'm going to try some of this on the insides of the frame and some other areas. It's probably going to work for a year or so, but it might help. And yeah, that's the test. So first area I'm going to try is, I'm going to try some of this rust converter liquid. So I'll paint some of this on, and we can leave it for a while and see how it looks. So this has been well shaken, and I'm going to paint it on some of these little areas here. So chain stays inside and out are going to have this CRC rust converter liquid on it. This bit's going to get the get a chainstay protector on it, so if I accidentally completely destroy the paintwork on here, it's not the end of the world. So we'll paint this on, and then I'll leave it for a number of hours, and we can come back and see what it did. Did it destroy the paintwork? Did it not destroy the paintwork? Has it converted the rust? So that's this rust converter liquid on the chainstays. Oh, there's another little bit there. I want to get it all. So here's the result on the chainstays. This CRC rust converter liquid has basically turned the rust black, and it's given us a nice sort of shiny coat over the top of the rest of the frame. So it's done no harm to the paint, it's just basically left with an extra sort of shiny lacquery type layer over the top. So that's perfectly paint safe as far as I can tell. The other thing I've done is use these CRC 556 and the penetrate oil, so it's basically WD-40 type stuff, up here to see if it would loosen any of the rust off on here and rub it, but it's basically done nothing. So the last thing to sort out is this rust remover and conditioner. Now what I've done is I've diluted it 9 parts to 1, I think it was, in some water, and dropped one end of the fork into the water so we can see the difference between the one that's been treated and the one that hasn't. It's been in there for about 20 minutes or so, and it says 10 minutes or so before you should take it out and have a look. So we'll pull this out and see what it's like. This actually appears to be relatively paint safe. It's hardly done any damage or no damage at all to the paint. And if you have a look at the, I'll use this as a backdrop to give us some focus. This one has not been treated, right? And this one has been. So the rust has largely been dissolved, and the paint seems in relatively good nick. Yeah, that's actually remarkably good. I think what I'll do is I'll treat the forks with the rust remover and the frame with the rust converter, and we'll see which looks better once we're finished. So now I'm just going to paint this stuff on. And quite a few big heavy coats, and leave it for a while. I should actually stop being so lazy and just take these brakes off too. I'm kind of hoping I can just leave this crown race on. We'll do a few coats of that and leave it for a while and see how it goes. I've left that a wee while, time for another coat. And another coat. I was almost going to give up, but actually this looks like it's working pretty well. So this is looking pretty good. It's removed almost all of the rust. A couple of little tiny bits left, but I think I'm just going to wash this off and call it a day with that. I've given these forks a good wash now to deactivate the rust removal, basically wash off all the water-based stuff, and it's a pretty good job. Next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to give these a rub down with some isopropyl alcohol to take all the grease and stuff off them, and then I'm going to give them a coat with some lacquer. Now, one of the things I do with when I'm lacquering bikes recently, I've found out that you get a pretty good finish and a reasonably long lasting finish if you use lacquer that's actually meant to lacquer aluminium wheels for cars. Yeah, I guess they make this stuff strong. So I'll give this a wipe down. I've masked off this little crown race so that I don't have to take it off because I'm lazy. The other thing I'm doing here is running a 5mm tap through all of these little threaded bits on the forks and around the frame, so that everything should, once we're finished, there's quite a lot of dust and stuff falling out of this one where the rust's coming away, but yeah, everything should be usable once the frame's finished. Nice. And now I'm going to touch up all the rust spots on the frame with this stuff, followed by coating it with the aluminium wheel lacquer to try and get a nice shiny finish. This stuff here. Done. Just remembered I was going to squirt some of this stuff inside the frame and see if it maybe, well, I guess I'll never know if it really made a difference. So this. So here's the rescued frame and fork. It's actually looking pretty good. The frame was done with CRC rust converter liquid, and that was covered over with Auto K wheel spray, which is a lacquer for aluminium wheels on cars. The fork was done with quick rust remover and metal conditioner, and that was covered over with the same lacquer as the frame. I reckon the frame looks pretty presentable now, and it also has managed to keep all the original battle scars and little pops of rust all over it, so it doesn't look like a brand new repainted frame. It does look like the original thing. The glitter on the forks in the front of the frame might be a personal taste thing. Kinda looks a little bit tacky, but I like it. If you want to see the rest of the project, then remember to subscribe. Click like if you've watched this far, and thanks for watching.